Let's talk about salaries today. How much salary you are able to get in Sweden? What kind of salary ranges people have in Sweden, and what kind of salary you may able to get from the Swedish employers? There are no rules and regulations in Sweden that can govern about how much salary you should get depending on what kind of experience you have and what kind of education you have. It is based on supply and demand. Yes, there are some labor laws that talk about how many hours you should work in Sweden, what is the minimum labor wage, and so on. So let's directly now talk about what kind of salary ranges and options you may have in Sweden. Now, of course, I will talk based on my experience. I am an information security, risks management and compliance professional, and I have worked in variety of industry sectors, and also I have been living in Sweden for more than 26 years. So I have a good picture of what kind of salaries people have in Sweden. Please also understand that in general terms, it does not matter in Sweden if you have a university degree, whether it is bachelor or master's or a PhD degree, it does not matter. If you have good skills, if you are good in your work, you are able to get a good salary in Sweden. I have seen people working in big enterprises such as Ericsson that don't have any kind of university education. So generally in Sweden it does not matter. However, since you are a foreigner, you are coming from abroad, you should have some edge over your Swedish colleagues. So it is good if you have a university level education. It is good if you have some professional certifications. You need to have some edge. You should expect some level of discrimination or biasness in Sweden, and also there is some level of discrimination and biasness in your home country. So you should expect that, and you should be ready for that. You should be prepared for that. That's why I said you should have an edge over your Swedish colleagues. If you do not have an edge over your Swedish competitors, then why the hell they are going to give you a job? They have their own people. So you have to be better than them. This is normal. This should be understood. So let's now talk about salary ranges. I don't want to prolong this video. If you have an experience somewhere from 0 years up to 5 years, remember that in Sweden, all kind of experience is considered experience. So if you are teaching your brothers and sisters in home, write that in your CV. If you are doing some kind of odd job, or if you have done some kind of internship or project work, make sure that you have entered all those information in your CV, because that is going to give you some help. So if you are a newly graduated with 0 to 5 years of experience, then you should be able to get salary somewhere between 25,000 Swedish krona up to 35,000 Swedish krona per month. Depending on your work experience, your industry segment, and also what kind of edge you have with your competitors, you should be able to fall somewhere in between that. Now, some people may be able to get salaries that are more than 35,000, and some people may be able to get salaries that are less than 25,000. Those are exceptions, but this is a good range depending on what kind of experience you have. And if you have experience from 5 years up to 10 years, then you should be able to get salary somewhere between 35,000 Swedish krona up to 50,000 Swedish krona per month. I have noticed that in Sweden, if you have 10 years of experience, then 50,000 Swedish krona is a psychological mark. Most people have salaries around that mark. So 50,000 Swedish krona is not very good salary in Sweden, and also is not very bad salary in Sweden if you have about 10 years of work experience. I should also let you know that there are some professions, or maybe the correct wording is there are some people within certain professions that will start their career from 50,000 Swedish krona. Especially if you have studied economy from the Stockholm School of Economy, which is one of the top 5 best schools in the world, and if you manage to enter into one of the big banks in Sweden, then most likely your salary is going to start from 50,000 Swedish krona. If not, then you will soon reach 50,000 Swedish krona per month. This is normal in Sweden. But this option is not available for every student of economy. This option is only available to few students because there are always few jobs available on this level and there is always competition. So if you manage to succeed, if you manage to compete with others, then this kind of salaries you can get maybe in your early life in your career. And this is not only for economy, there are also good jobs available in, for example, information security. If you are working for information security or maybe also artificial intelligence and blockchain, all these innovative fields, if you have a good strength in your field, you are able to get easily 50,000 Swedish krona even within the first 5 years of your career. But this option is not for everyone. Most of the people on an average, I have seen that if they are working in Sweden for about 10 years, maybe their salary is about 50,000 Swedish krona per month. If you have experience from 10 years up to 15 years, then your salary should be somewhere between 50,000 up to 65,000 Swedish krona. And if you are working for more than 15 years up to 20 years, then your salary should be from 65,000 Swedish krona up to 75,000 Swedish krona. Remember that this 65,000 Swedish krona is also considered as some kind of psychological mark. It is not easy to break this mark. Also, there are limited number of jobs that can give you salary beyond 65,000 Swedish krona. Most of the people, they never go beyond 65,000 Swedish krona. They are remaining somewhere between 50,000 up to 65,000 Swedish krona when they have experience from somewhere between 10 years up to 20 years. So it's not easy to break 65, but there are jobs available in Sweden that can give you salary more than 65,000 Swedish krona, and those jobs are within IT industry, within also medical industry, within construction industry, within electrical engineering, and so on. And also, if you are a information security professional, then 75,000 is nothing. You should be able to get even more. And if you have work experience of more than 20 years, then you should be able to cross that mark of 75,000 Swedish krona per month. You should have salary maybe more than 100,000 Swedish krona per month. There are people in Sweden, especially in my industry, they have a salary of over 100,000 Swedish krona per month, and they are also foreigners. So it is possible to get that kind of salary. To get that level of salary up to 100,000 Swedish krona per month or beyond, definitely you need to have several edges over your competitors, over your colleagues. And what kind of those edges? I think I should make a separate video about that. To make things short, I can quickly tell you that you need to have more than one master's degrees in your portfolio, in your CV. You need to have several professional certifications, and you need to be good in what you do. Also remember that if you have that kind of salary above 75,000 Swedish krona or 100,000 Swedish krona per month, and if you are going to lose your job for whatever reason, maybe the company is going to restructure, or maybe there is a redundancy going on in the company, for whatever reason, it is not easy to come back to the same level in Sweden because there are only few jobs in Sweden. I can tell you some of the professions. Within those professions, you are able to get this kind of salary. If you are a security expert, information security or IT security, both are okay. And in IT security, you should be an expert in hacking. If you can do advanced level of pen testing, you can earn even up to 500,000 per month if you have your own company, if you are a freelance. But as an employee, you can easily cross over 100,000 Swedish krona per month. But if you're also good in data analytics, artificial intelligence, robotics, blockchain, if you are in a medical industry, in a construction industry, even if you are working with the electricity, you are an electrical engineer, in all those cases, you are able to get salary about 100,000 Swedish krona per month. So I have seen many people in Sweden, many foreigners in Sweden, they are underselling themselves, and it is mainly because they don't know what kind of salaries people have in Sweden. Please don't undersell yourself. Now you have got some ideas about what kind of salaries are possible in Sweden. So I think you will be able to negotiate your salaries in a better way in the future. But remember that it all depends on the circumstances and opportunities and your negotiation skills and so on. There is no hard and core rule in Sweden, as I told you before, that there is no standard in Sweden. Everything depends on your negotiations. If company needs you, they will give you whatever you want. If company don't need you, they will not give you whatever you want. One last thing before I end the video for today, and that is that I just talked about the base salary. I did not talk about additional packages that you may get on top of your base salary. I will cover those in a separate video, so please subscribe to the channel. Thank you to all of you. Goodbye. See you next time.